comment, and subscribe on all the major platforms. Stay updated on all Deadwolvz content, like, comment, and subscribe on all the major platforms. Stay updated on all Deadwolvz content, like, comment, and subscribe on all the major platforms. Stay updated on all Deadwolvz content, like, comment, and subscribe on all the major platforms. Stay updated on all Deadwolvz content, like, comment, and subscribe on all the major platforms. Stay updated on all Deadwolvz content, like, comment, and subscribe on all the major platforms. Stay updated on all Deadwolvz content, like, comment, and subscribe on all the major platforms. Stay updated on all Deadwolvz content, like, comment, and subscribe on all the major platforms. Stay updated on all Deadwolvz content, like, comment, and subscribe on all the major platforms. Stay updated on all Deadwolvz content, like, comment, and subscribe on all the major platforms. Stay updated on all Deadwolvz content, like, comment, and subscribe on all the major platforms. Stay updated on all Deadwolvz content, like, comment, and subscribe on all the major platforms. Stay updated on all Deadwolvz content, like, comment, and subscribe on all the major platforms. Stay updated on all Deadwolvz content, like, comment, and subscribe on all the major platforms. Stay updated on all Deadwolvz content, like, comment, and subscribe on all the major platforms. like, comment, and subscribe on all the major platforms. Stay updated on all Deadwolvz content, like, comment, and subscribe on all the major platforms. Stay updated on all Deadwolvz content, like, comment, and subscribe on all the major platforms. Stay updated on all Deadwolvz content, like, comment, and subscribe on all the major platforms. Stay updated on all Deadwolvz content, like, comment, and subscribe on all the major platforms. Stay updated on all Deadwolvz content, like, comment, and subscribe on all the major platforms. Stay updated on all Deadwolvz content, like, comment, and subscribe on all the
What it do? What it do, online world? Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Welcome to the Wolves Den, baby. We in here. It's Professor Ghost. Thank you for tuning in. We live, baby. We live. I got something special for y'all. I got something special. Something real special. I want you guys to understand it's something. It's like in the 50 Cent song. It's so special. Got something for y'all. I got it. I found it. I keyed it together. I keyed it together. I got the keys. And we on it. Ever better. Alright. Shout out to Melody King. Oh my God. Melanie, if you ever see this, I hope you do. Baby, I'm gonna do better. With my descriptions and all that. But I got you in the description. Like, y'all better follow Melody King. Alright, hold on. Make sure y'all see. Alright, yo. That's wifey. I don't give a fuck what these other YouTubers, social rumblers, whatever they do. I love this woman. I'm in her comment section. It's me. Ike Turner Hand. It's me, baby. DWG, Deadwolvz Game. We over here. I support you, baby. I don't promote you. Make sure y'all follow my baby. Hey, please do. Oh, man. She is so wise and smart. It's the brain, the intellect that gets me. That's what attracts me. And Lord, she got a lot of it. Lord, I'm your slave, girl. You throw a Diddy party with me, girl. I be your usher. I'm Melanie King's usher. But all right, we gonna get into this, Mo. Hollywood falling, industry publicists risking it all, exposing Drake, Jay-Z, and Diddy. Shocking interview. And I'ma drop that. We're gonna do a review on that. We're gonna review that. We're gonna review that. But I want y'all gonna see a lot of Melanie King on here. So don't worry. Hopefully one day she see me, she notice me, she wanna do an interview with me. We can interview each other. Yeah. I would say it's a date, so I'm claiming that now. See, I could clip this. I said this way before I met her, so I'm gonna claim the interview we have in the future. It's a date. That's all. I don't care. She worth it. Oh man, just 5 seconds of her time. Anyway, let's get to the video.
2024 has been a very interesting year for the music industry. For whatever reason, this has been the year that people in the industry have chosen to come out and speak out. An industry that once protected its secrets like the mob is now facing an epidemic of insiders exposing their secrets. Finally, the world is seeing the truth about the music industry, and it's nothing like they expected. The industry is a strange, dark place, and after what this industry insider told me directly in this interview, it only further confirms that. Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to The Truth Is, where I drop new videos every other day exposing the truth. In today's episode, I will be interviewing the music industry publicist and producer, Jonathan Hay. In this explosive interview, Jonathan exposes industry secrets about people like Drake, Jay-Z, DJ Khaled, and many others. Trust me when I tell you, you're gonna wanna watch this video to the very end. Now, let's get right into it. Before we get into this interview,
I'm not gonna lie. I always in the hood. Y'all know we always knew these niggas was gay. We knew it. It was just a matter of time for the shit to come out. Y'all just mad now because now it's out in the open and now you look weird and listen to these niggas' music.
I wanted to explain how this interview came together and who exactly Jonathan Hay is. Jonathan Hay is a music industry publicist and producer who got his start in the music industry in the late 90s, working with a rock group called Days of the New. From there, he was able to meet and work with Kevin Skinner, who introduced him to Whitney Houston's father. Whitney's father would end up connecting Jonathan with Whitney herself, which helped Jonathan's publicist career even further. From here, he was introduced to a brand new industry rising star at the time, Rihanna. He was the lead publicist working on Rihanna's first single, Pon de Replay. Jonathan only kept on climbing from here, as he would end up working with many more artists, becoming a very successful publicist in the industry. He ended up working with artists like Drake, Michael Jackson's estate, and even Biggie's son, plus many more. Things were going great for Jonathan in the industry until he started working with Drake and his baby mother, Sophia. This is actually what led Jonathan to contact me. See, a couple of days back, Jonathan sent me an email asking me to look into his story. He had recently done an interview with Jaguar Wright on the Real Life Production channel, where Jaguar told him some very alarming information. See, back in 2017, while Jonathan was working with Drake's baby mother Sophia, something traumatic ended up happening to him that changed his life forever. He, for whatever reason, was targeted in a home invasion attack, where he and his 14-year-old daughter were tied up, robbed, and threatened in their own home. At this moment, Jonathan had prayed to God to get him out of the situation, something that thankfully happened. Eventually, some of the people responsible for this crime ended up going to prison after police were able to catch them. But one person who Jonathan believed was a mastermind in the whole crime managed to escape prison even after sufficient evidence was brought up against them. This woman was allegedly his ex-fiance of 9 years. She was allegedly able to get away with her role in the crimes because someone behind the scenes was paying for her high-powered lawyers and had connections to people in high places. For years, Jonathan wondered who was behind helping his ex evade prison. This is a question that he might have gotten the answer to during a recent interview with Jaguar Wright, as she told him she believes Drake was allegedly behind setting him up. This made Jonathan Hay rethink the entire situation and start connecting the dots, realizing this all took place during the time he was working with Drake's fling, Sophia, who was pregnant with Drake's baby at the time. Also, this was right around the time Pusha T exposed Drake for hiding his relationship and child with Sophia. Drake ended up under the impression that because Sophia had been working with Jonathan, that she had told him about the pregnancy, something that Jonathan seems to confirm when he told People magazine, "I've seen the text messages and they do exist," in reference to conversations between Drake and Sophia, where Drake allegedly instructed Sophia to get rid of the baby. Pair this with Jonathan's close connection to good music artist and Kanye West ghostwriter Sci-Hi the Prince, Drake thought for sure Jonathan was who gave Pusha T the info about Drake hiding a baby. Because of this, it seems that Drake might have allegedly wanted to retaliate against Jonathan. And according to Jaguar Wright, it could have been the real reason behind Hayes' traumatic home invasion. Now, I looked into Jonathan to confirm his story and involvement in the music industry, and everything he states seems to check out, as I was able to trace his publicist career in the business. Ever since Hay experienced the situation in the industry, he started to drift away from it until he finally decided to risk it all and speak out about what he saw and experienced in the industry. Hay agreed to an interview with me to talk about not only Drake, but many other names as well, telling me industry secrets we're not supposed to hear about. He goes deep and doesn't shy away from any of my questions.
Hey guys, so I came across this interview on the Truth Is channel. I will link the original below. And there is a lot that is exposed in this. I wanted to give that intro so you know who this guy is that's talking. He's just not talking out of his behind. He knows these facts. He has been part of the industry for many decades. And because, again, like you saw, he's tired of it, the things that have happened to him. He is just talking now. And so this interview is mind-blowing. Now he talks about Drake throughout it, and all of the things dealing with Drake. I am going to reserve that for another interview. What I want to get to is when he starts to talk about Jay-Z, Diddy, and any information that he is privy to regarding their activities, the things that they've been involved in. So we're going to get started with the part where he starts to talk about Jay-Z and Rihanna and how that whole thing came together.
The fact that you mentioned Jay-Z, I want to actually ask you a question about Jay-Z. You said in that interview with Jaguar Wright and Real Life Productions, you stated that you were actually the one responsible for spreading the rumor that Jay-Z and Rihanna had hooked up. Now, my question to you is, do you believe that at all? Did you believe that rumor before you said it, before you claimed it? Do you believe that there's any truth? Not saying that you're accusing Jay-Z, let's make this clear, we're not trying to get anybody in trouble here. But do you believe that there's a possibility that that could have been true? And the reason why I'll say this to you before you answer, Jay-Z signed Rihanna at 3 o'clock in the morning when she was 16 years old. I believe it was in a hotel room, but it could have been in the office, in the record label office. She was also discovered in a hotel room. That's what it was. She was discovered when she was a teenager in a hotel room. I forgot the producer's name, but he was vacationing in Barbados, right? And he discovered Rihanna in a hotel room, had her audition, her and 2 other girls in a hotel room. Now, to me, with my investigation and my, the way I look at things, a 16-year-old girl in a country like Barbados with people with money like this usually go over there to have fun. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So without, saying anything that would get you in trouble, can you explain why you made that PR move and said that Drake and Rihanna had, not Drake, Jay-Z and Rihanna had something going on? And then can you tell me if you believe any of that could be a possibility?
So as far as the rumor, I came out and said that I started the rumor a long time ago because I was told that I would be rewarded significantly. Okay. For coming out and saying that I started the rumor, and it stuck. I was to be the one that was to fall on the sword, so to speak. Okay. And it's like, for the very reasons that I told you why I couldn't really, do anything. I had to make compromises like that all the time because my life depended on it. My bills depended on it. My food, my drink, my loved ones depended on it. That's my career. It's my job. Like, that's all I've ever done. What am I supposed to do? Right. So when I come out there and I would like openly admit it, like I started the rumor, there was reasons, for me saying that, right? But at the same time, when we put out the rumor, it wasn't just me that put it out. There was other people involved that came up with the idea of putting that out. When I was first introduced to the Rihanna project from a producer, the first thing he said to me was, "She looks like Beyonce," and she did. She was 16 at the time, and she looked very much like she was trying to look like Beyonce. So that was very strange, right? And then I started hearing her music and loving it and promoting it. Then the Becoming Beyonce book comes out in 2015, and it talks about me being the person who put out the rumor, and went viral back then in 2015. I went on Inside Edition. I apologize for putting out the rumor.
It was the rumor would not go away. Rihanna was romancing Jay-Z behind Beyonce's back. But now, at last, we can put that rumor to rest.
Did Rihanna and Jay-Z have an affair?
No.
It was all a publicity stunt.
Jonathan Hay is a music industry publicist who says he made up the whole affair to get attention for Rihanna's first single back in 2005. He makes that shocking revelation in the new book, Becoming Beyonce, an unauthorized biography by best-selling author J. Randy Carabarelli.
I was desperate at the time because I wanted to have a hit record.
The rumor caught fire. So much so, Jay-Z and Beyonce were dating at the time, broke up for a year because Beyonce wanted no part of love triangle involving Rihanna, the book claims.
She was 17 years old. You picked a potentially dangerous way to promote a new artist.
Agree. Yeah, we were young and stupid. And since that day, I'll get emails, these random emails, at least 3 or 4 times a year, of people who's claiming that Rihanna has been sex trafficked, right? And at first, I would get annoyed, and I would be like, you guys don't know what you're talking about. Earlier this year, March, it was in March, and this person told me that he wanted to reach out to Rihanna. I told him I didn't know how anymore. But he said that she is being trafficked and she's been trafficked, blah, 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 blah. And it just really, it's stuck. And this is before I was doing the interview with Jaguar, right? This is before I came out and spoke about this stuff. And I even argued with that guy. I was like, just stop reading the internet, watching, all these different conspiracies about her being trafficked. There's no way that it's true.
Here's the thing. We've been new. They've been talking about Rihanna being trafficked, and even before Rihanna, Aaliyah, and all this. Even back when, if y'all remember, my generation, back in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, we know what happened to all the. Remember happened? The R&B class was so big back then. The R&B class, y'all don't remember? Besides Destiny Child was the last group everybody's mother was bumping. Y'all gotta remember that. There were so many female R&B artists. R&B died. Do y'all know that? It's females. It's women. Y'all gotta scavenge for R&B. Do y'all pay attention? Nowadays, females want to be drill rappers. Do y'all understand that? R&B, they've been trying to kill R&B ever since it became popular. When they seen what R&B can do, y'all understand your tones. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know what that was. My kids had on the tablet. But y'all understand that? Like the waves, the sound waves we hear, R&B music keep us mellow. It don't get us to go out there and do drugs and go get drunk. Oh, but man, you can get drunk on R&B. You can make love on R&B. You get drunk on it. You get a bottle. You ain't going out there and getting turned up off R&B music. So that's why they didn't want to push R&B. That's why they killed R&B. Y'all gotta wake up. Y'all need to wake up and pay attention.
And I got really, really frustrated, and I argued with this guy. I was like, you're just a fan, you're just a super fan, whatever. But then I started to really think about it. And then I started to realize how much that has happened. That's never happened with any other artist I've worked with. Nobody's ever said so-and-so's being trafficked, or has been trafficked, or escaped from a trafficking ring. I've never heard that about anybody but her. And my thing is like, okay, well, I don't think that she's being trafficked now. She's a billionaire. She can get her own lawyer. She could get away, not trafficked now, but I don't think that she's trying to get away from Jay-Z. But I don't know. It's like all this is just getting stranger and stranger, like every day, especially like with what we're seeing with Diddy. You're talking about one of the most powerful people in hip hop, the same level as Jay-Z. It's like everybody says that he's next. So we'll see. I just know what I've dealt with when people have come and told me. It's always been very, very strange, But what's more strange is the fact that these people have told me these strange things, and people who don't know each other, right? They're not related or they're not connected, and they're reaching out for positive.
I want y'all to pay attention. Like, this is a white man. Now, I've never seen this white man before, but I know his name. Never heard nobody say his name was crazy. That's how I knew it was a white dude, because I remember the name. His name was the one that came up when they said who spread it, that rumor. It was his name. Somebody gave him up. But they never said he was crazy. They just said he was the one that spread it, the rumor. That was it. Pay attention. They ain't call a white man crazy. But when Kanye out here, Orlando Brown out here, you know, people of color out here telling the truth, we're crazy. And it's crazy on us because we just jump on board, but like believe they crazy. But you forget, a lot of us go through the same experiences they talk about. So we give you the right to call them crazy. I believe the more money you got, the more shit you go through. So I believe everything they say. They been in the spotlight. Y'all never been. Y'all don't know what it's like. So how can you say they crazy? We ain't been in their shoes, and I don't want to be in their shoes. And I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that. I just take their word. I don't want to see the image, none of that. I'm just taking their word because I know they telling the truth. But like who, like you come on. Like people, you got to understand. You got to understand. These people have a public image. I don't care how much drugs you on. It don't matter. You always going to look at yourself, how you talk. Y'all need to remember that. These people are not crazy. Only people that are crazy are the people that you see that actually be out here talking themselves and actually playing the other roles. Like, that's crazy. Somebody that's talking from a one-dimensional mind is not crazy. That's not crazy. That person may be a pathological liar, but they're not crazy because I know crazy. I seen crazy. I've been raised with crazy. You feel me? Like I said. Like, you see a person do a one-man show theater, that person is diabolically insane. No offense to all the actors that done the one-man shows, but you guys are crazy. You guys talk to yourself. I'm just saying.
Trying to help a situation, and I always shut it down. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Call the authorities.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, she's not being trafficked, obviously, because she's a grown
Correct.
woman and she's
Correct.
willingly in the industry and she's, making money.
Correct.
When she was 16 years old and she was discovered in Barbados
Correct.
and she was in a hotel room with a grown man who we don't know what he was there for, but let's be realistic here. Men in the music industry love to go to third world countries, love to go to, or second world countries, whatever you want to call Barbados. And they like to go there and they like to have fun. They like to do things that they wouldn't be allowed to do here in America, And Rihanna ended up going from there to Jay-Z's office in a matter of months. And then inside of Jay-Z's office, this isn't the only young woman at the time who people were rumoring that Jay-Z was with. If we look at Beyonce, I've already looked in. I've already found times where Jay-Z said that he basically met her 16, 17. And he didn't claim he was in a relationship with her. He insinuates that he met her at that age. And if we use our mind, if we use common sense, possibility that he was already flirting with her or into that, because by the time she was 18, they were in a relationship essentially. And it's the same thing with, what was it, Little Mama? Is that the other artist that was with Jay-Z?
Foxy Brown.
Or Foxy Brown, yeah. Foxy Brown was
15.
Exactly my point. And also, it's rumored, it's alleged that she had something going on with Jay-Z as well before she, was an adult. Aaliyah, another person who was very relatively young, is also rumored that Jay-Z had something going on with her. Now, we also see that Jay-Z and Diddy have a very close relationship. We've seen them party together often. And let's be honest here. Those parties are the pre-party for the freak-off party.
This is crazy because I remember that rumor back in the day that Jay-Z and Rihanna were together and hooked up and essentially like cheated on Beyonce with her. And there was all this buzz. And then it just died away. And then there's been like kind of like rumblings throughout the years, but they've dissipated. And especially when this guy now, he came out and said that it wasn't true. He just made it up. And that was all to just pull the wool over our eyes, that was allegedly was the truth. But, they had to cover it up. They couldn't, they had to cover their tracks and throw the public off. And we see this happen so often. How many things have we heard or we've seen? And it's a big thing people are talking about. Then next thing you know, mainstream media or, a publicist or someone else comes out and tries to debunk it and make it like, oh, it's just rumor. It was fake. It was this, that, and the other. But this guy's essentially saying like, that's the game. Okay, when truth comes out, they have to they work overtime to cover it in whichever way they have to. And whoever has to fall on the sword, it's usually going to be somebody that's lower level or somebody that is expendable, that can do this. They won't really hurt their career. What would it hurt him to come out and say that? To say, oh, I just made it up so that her music can come out. And it's actually plausible. It kind of makes sense. Oh, that he would make up that so that Rihanna could sell more, so there was more buzz about her. But the truth is that it is the truth. And we have been deceived into believing something else. It's a way that they divert our attention from what's really been going on. And I believe this is how they have been able to get away with all the crimes and the things that they've done over the years in the music industry and in Hollywood. Think of all of the rumors that you have heard, right? Think of all the things that you have heard, and then somehow the mainstream media or, a blogger or some PR thing comes out and dispels it and breaks up that story, or it just dies in the media. Things are, is getting momentum, and then suddenly you can't hear about it anywhere. And think about back then, the internet wasn't as big of a thing. So if you weren't like online searching for this stuff.
And that's my thing. Think about that. They only charging Diddy from 2008. They're only charging him from 2008. I want you guys to imagine if back then, before, and like when camcorders was a thing, if people wasn't so shy, if Diddy was the way he was now, back then, we would have had Biggie and Tupac murder on video camera. Do y'all understand that? I want y'all to understand this. This shit about to get way deeper than rap. It's way deeper than rap. Okay? This has nothing to do with music. It has everything to do with our world. This is affecting our economy. This is about effect of the political debate. Like everything. Like, this is Deadwolvz. Thanks for joining Deadwolvz Hell. Like, I'm glad y'all here. I'm glad y'all here. Cause I want y'all when y'all see the how, it's the wake up time. Cause I really got some shit for y'all to understand. Alright? And I'm only gonna show y'all the proof. Alright? Cause I'm gonna do the podcast with live friends, live people. It'll be more than me in the den. And we gonna go over. We're gonna go over everything. And we're gonna have everybody live opinion more than me. You feel me? Cause it's Deadwolvz. It's living off adrenaline. We a community here. It's more than Professor Ghost and more than Captain Tiger. Keep telling y'all that. Y'all gonna see though. Alright, let's get back to this vid.
You would just be like, oh, you wouldn't go any further. Most of us are not going to go any further to think deeper or to dig deeper into what is really going on. But it's interesting that he is now saying, listen, it was all made up. That allegedly there was truth behind it. And then all these people are coming to him randomly that don't know each other, saying that she was actually trafficked, that she was part of that. And again, like I said, she's not now. But it's interesting to see this pattern of behavior with these, these artists, these producers, these guys who are higher up in the industry and what they do. And that Jay-Z has a pattern of going after very young women. He was with Beyonce essentially when she was a teenager. And they talk about Foxy Brown, the old rapper, 15 years old.
I really want y'all to know that. Y'all know that. Do y'all know that? And they still bump that song. They still bump that Jay-Z and Foxy Brown song uncensored. That woman was a fucking minor. Y'all need to understand the lyrics that this almost 30-year-old man felt comfortable doing this song with a teen. like this girl wasn't even 16 yet. I need y'all to understand. Look up Foxy Brown verse. She wasn't even 16. She was more nastier than y'all. Most of y'all in y'all 30s like me, 40s. She was more nastier than us. I wasn't even that damn nasty back then.
So absolutely, we know that these men like them young, and not just young women, but young girls. They like them. They like them before they're a woman. And now getting to this Diddy part, you can understand that it is, you know, he is not the only deviant that is in the music industry. Many reports have said that Jay-Z is just like Diddy. He's just smarter. He moves quieter. He's not as brash. He's not kind of a megalomaniac in terms of wanting to be out there and to be seen in the you know, the center of attention the way Diddy is. Diddy is, you know, some could say he's dumb because he wanted to be out there in the center of attention and drew all these, you know, attention to himself. But he was also smart because we know he recorded a lot of these people. Okay. And that kind of fueled him to that emboldened him to say, look, I have dirt on all of these people in the industry. So even if somebody wanted to talk, okay, if somebody wanted to say anything, well, they can't because they're going to be too scared because I have this evidence against
Melanie,
them.
I'm sorry, baby. Hold on, baby. Cause you took the words out of my mouth, Melanie, okay? She took the words out my mouth. And I could have been reborn in this world and seen Diddy growing up again nowadays and figured that shit out. Diddy a weirdo.
Blackmail. But Jay-Z also, again, people, there's so many rumors about him and it's been dismissed, it's been put off, people have ignored it. But how many of those are actually true?
Welcome.
That we see,
Welcome if you just coming in. Like, you ain't even got comment. Just share it. Just share the live. Share the live. Sub up. Do whatever. Hey, but we dropping some knowledge. I'm trying to show, hey, I'm about to show y'all. Hey, it's deeper than rap with this Diddy shit. So don't worry. It's about to be free Diddy next year because Diddy about to drop a bomb on your favorite fucking artist. All right? Your favorite movie actor, your favorite lawyer, your favorite politician. They all quitting and resigning and y'all ain't even paying attention. And the political, hey, and if you're voting for Kamala, don't worry. I got something after this for you Kamala Harris. Your old heads with the Kamala Harris out there, all right? I got something for you motherfuckers out there. You demos, you Democrats, I got something for y'all. The
celebrities, those are the parties that end up as the freak out parties. It might not be documented here because, you know, that's too much money to lose. This is my theory. I don't think that we're going to see a lot of people go down with P. Diddy, specifically not someone like Jay-Z, because he still has a lot of use for the people in the industry. He still has a lot of use for those up top. But it looks like they have a very similar pattern of behavior. Now, you didn't answer the question. You don't have to if you don't want to. At any moment, did you personally feel that they could have had something going on, Jay-Z and Rihanna?
Definitely.
You can say okay, allegedly, definitely.
Not allegedly.
Okay, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
See, I agree with you 100%. That's what I believe as well. And
Jay-Z and Rihanna definitely has something going on, and most likely while she was a minor. He's saying this is fact. This isn't allegedly. So now we know that this is par on course for how this industry goes. They hook you in sexually, okay, and they hook you in sexually. They hook you in with somebody who it seems as though they're the person, the gatekeeper, the person that holds the key to your career. And what do you have to do in order to make it, in order for them to do you a favor, in order for them to pull you into the music industry? They have to know that you're going to play ball, that you're going to be part of it. And it doesn't matter if it's a minor. That doesn't matter. They early on, and especially it probably makes more sense when they're a minor because their mind is underdeveloped, and it's easier to influence somebody who's young. But this is like, this man is saying think about it. If this wasn't true, he's risking everything. He's risking himself being sued. He's risking him being blackballed from certain people, which I'm sure he probably is already because, speaking out, having a conscience. But this is unbelievable. All these people who want to be famous, or they want their children to be famous, they want them to enter the music industry. They have to understand their child is not just having talent is not enough. You have to be willing to sacrifice yourself. You have to give something of yourself in order for them to do anything for you.
The people that reached out to you, they essentially made you cover this up. They, like you said, made you throw yourself on the sword and take responsibility for something that you weren't even the one 100% behind the rumor. They just told you to say it. Correct?
Correct.
And this is important because this is how the industry protects itself and cleans up. You are not at the level of Jay-Z, so they had no issues with throwing you, under the bus and blaming it on you. And if they say if it's all a rumor, then it's all a rumor, and everyone's going to go with that story because nobody wants to believe it. Nobody wants to believe that their idols are evil or their idols are doing anything wrong. So they're already coping and making excuses for it, even when the evidence is in their face. And it's a lot of people saying that Jay-Z, like you said, is next. Do you believe Jay-Z is next, though?
I do.
But in what sense? Do you think that they'll allow a person like Jay-Z to be taken from his position? Because it looks like they're clearing Diddy's spot to give it to him.
That's a good point. But I think what you should look in, and maybe flash the lyrics on the screen to that, is the song that he did with Foxy Brown on his debut album, and which was in 1996. She was a minor, and listened to the content of a grown man.
Thank you. He said it. He just said it. Listen to the lyrics when he did the song with Foxy Brown. That girl is underage. That girl is 15 years old talking about dick. She's more nastier. She's more. Oh, what's wrong with this? Oh, no, she got it sped up. She's speeding up the interview. She ain't playing the whole interview. I'm going to play the whole interview next live tomorrow. I'm going to play the whole interview. I done had to break down that joint. Like, he really done told a lot. He told a lot. All right, Ma. He told a lot. So we gonna get to the real interview. This is my girl Melanie Jones. She in the description. This the same chick that's about to this the same chick we gonna expose that's gonna shared the Candace Owens jump, exposing the Kamala Harris jump. We about to get into after this. But yeah, let's wrap this up.
Is having with a minor, and just read the lyrics. It's "Ain't no player" is the clean version, and the explicit version is "Ain't no N-word." And this is an adult doing a song with a minor. I think she's 14, 15, 16 at the oldest, with that kind of lyrical content is absolutely crazy. It's like, who would ever, usually when there's kids around, like as we're grown men, we're gonna quit talking like that, right?
Of course.
But the fact that he released his album that's still on his debut album with her as a teenager is crazy.
Yeah, and his relationship with R. Kelly.
His relationship with R. Kelly, and his relationship with Harvey Weinstein, who he was signed to, and his relationship with Diddy, which goes back to 1996.
Even Nas. And you can say Nas was just dissing Jay-Z, but Nas specifically stated that Jay-Z and R. Kelly were doing the same thing with the same girls that were at the studio together. And that's a strong accusation, but let's be honest, it's like what they're saying now about Drake. Oh, Drake's into the minors. If you have been following Drake loves to rap about hooking up with 18, 19, as young as he can. That's what he legally states. But if you're aiming for an 18-year-old at 36, you're not going to compromise at a 17-year-old, a 16-year-old. It wouldn't matter. It's the same thing. What's the difference between a 16 and an 18-year-old besides the fact that they're legal? But they're both still teenagers, and they're both still extremely young and undeveloped, mentally at least, Okay. And would you say that there's another P. Diddy in the industry or more P. Diddy's in the industry from your time at the industry?
P. Diddy he's a one-on-one. Like the fact that we call him P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Puffy, like Sean Combs, and all the different variations. He's a one-on-one with like his level of freak-offs. And his was like, he did it for so long because he's doing it out in the open. He's got a 40-foot bed in his backyard, and people are jumping on it. And he's having these freak-off parties with like a lot of people involved.
That's crazy. That man got a 44-foot bed in his backyard. Do y'all understand? Do y'all know how big a 44-foot bed is? No wonder he had on that baby oil. I don't know, Mo. Hey, I don't think I heard him, Mo. That man said that man got a Hey, I'm gonna show y'all another video. He got, all right, so he has a basketball gym inside his house. He got beds, like king size beds on the outside of the fucking the court. Yo, this nigga is a super freak. He's a super freak. Like, yo, like I believe those other security guard stories when they was like, these niggas stole freak off basketball 5-on-5s, like butt naked. That's what they do. Diddy got beds. He got 2 beds at this end, 2 beds at that end, and it's like bleacher beds on the side. Like, yo, he's a super freak. Yo, niggas a super freak. I ain't gonna hold you. Niggas a super freak. Yo, who got mattresses around their court? He's a super freak. Yo, all right. Anybody that's defending that, y'all niggas was at a Diddy party and y'all was in the after hour party. Cause, nah, I want y'all to understand this. All right. I got my mom's dying in the chat. Hey, but I'm telling the truth though. Man, look, we don't know the type of level of freak Diddy and them was on. We don't have that type of money. So you can't imagine that, that life. That bedroom life. Like, no. Like, come on now. Niggas, we barely getting him by. That's why we be streaming and going to work. These entertainers with millions of dollars. Nothing else to do. They just buy toys. Grown-up toys. And invest in Johnson & Johnson. Johnson & Johnson, man, is shit right now. I'm sorry. Let's get back to the vid.
36. You are not going to compromise at a 17-year-old, a 16-year-old. It wouldn't matter. It's the same thing. What's the difference between a 16 and an 18-year-old besides the fact that they're legal? But they're both still teenagers, and they're both still extremely young and undeveloped, mentally at least, Okay. And would you say that there's another P. Diddy in the industry or more P. Diddy's in the industry from your time at the industry?
P. Diddy he's a one-on-one. Like the fact that we call him.
Hey, shout out to everybody watching on Rumble. Hey, on the Rumble, I got y'all tonight at 11 o'clock. Hey, I'm gonna start doing Monday, Wednesday, and Saturdays for Rumble only. All right, mods, I'm gonna hook y'all up. I'm gonna get y'all the info on that. All right, so I'm gonna need y'all over there. Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday nights. 11, we're gonna do political views, and I'm gonna show y'all until this debate, until it's time to vote. I'm gonna get y'all there. Yeah, he do. Yeah, so why he gotta lie? He ain't gotta lie. He don't gotta lie. He do help him make a lot of money, and he ain't like he got money, but he ain't getting the money that he making for the artists and shit. You feel me? But check us out on Rumble. Follow us on that Rumble, y'all. Rumble is my I can take on, but we always gonna be here on the tube. We always gonna be here. It's home, baby. DC, you see it in the back, baby, but we stay in the front.
The one 100% behind the rumor, they just told you to say it, correct?
Correct.
And this is important because this is how the industry protects itself and cleans up. You are not at the level of Jay-Z, so they had no issues with throwing you, under the bus and blaming it on you. And if they say if it's all a rumor, then it's all a rumor, and everyone's gonna go with that story because nobody wants to believe it. Nobody wants to believe that their idols are evil or their idols are doing anything wrong. So they're already coping and making excuses for it, even when the evidence is in their face. And it's a lot of people saying that Jay-Z, like you said, is next. Do you believe Jay-Z is next, though?
I do.
But in what sense? Do you think that they'll allow a person like Jay-Z to be taken from his position? Because it looks like they're clearing Diddy's spot to give it to him.
That's a good point. But I think what you should look at, and maybe flash the lyrics on the screen to that, is the song that he did with Foxy Brown on his debut album, and which was in 1996. She was a minor, and listen to the content that a grown man is having with a minor, and just read the lyrics. It's "Ain't no player" is the clean version, and the explicit version is "Ain't no N-word." And this is an adult doing a song with a minor. I think she's 14, 15, 16 at the oldest, with that kind of lyrical content is absolutely crazy. You know, it's like who would ever, you know, usually when there's kids around, you know, like as we're grown men, we're going to quit talking like that, right?
Of course.
But the fact that he released his album that's still on his debut album with her as a teenager is crazy.
Yeah, and his relationship with R. Kelly.
His relationship with R. Kelly and his relationship with Harvey Weinstein, who he was signed to, and his relationship with Diddy, which goes back to 1996.
Even Nas. And you can say Nas was just dissing Jay-Z, but Nas specifically stated that Jay-Z and R. Kelly were doing the same thing with the same girls that were at the studio together. You know, and that's a strong accusation, but let's be honest, it's like what they're saying now about Drake. Oh, Drake's into the minors. If you have been following Drake loves to rap about hooking up with 18, 19, as young as he can. That's what he legally states. But if you're aiming for an 18-year-old at 36, you are not going to compromise at a 17-year-old, a 16-year-old. It wouldn't matter. It's the same thing. What's the difference between a 16 and an 18-year-old besides the fact that they're legal? But they're both still teenagers, and they're both still extremely young and undeveloped, mentally at least, you know? Okay. And would you say that there's another P. Diddy in the industry or more P. Diddy's in the industry from your time at the industry?
P. Diddy he's a one-on-one. Like the fact that we call him P. Diddy and, you know, Puff Daddy and Puffy and Sean Combs and all the different variations. He's a one-on-one with like his like level of freak offs. And his was like, he did it for so long because he's doing it out in the open. You know, he's got a 40-foot bed in his backyard and people are, you know, jumping on it. And he's having these freak off parties with like a lot of people involved. And then they got bigger and bigger. Like they found, you know, thousands of bottles of like lubricant, literally.
Baby oil.
Yeah. So like, I think he was just all out in the open. Like, you know, I can do whatever I want. I think the other people that are doing it are much more careful, much more calculated, and are much more wicked.
So they're in there. That's exactly my question. My question is there more people that you believe that are still behaving like Diddy? Yeah. But understand this. The industry is definitely a cult in a sense where there's a power structure. There's an organization that rules over the industry. There's a method of operation because most people think that the artists are doing what the artists are doing. And it's never really the artists. The artists are doing what the record labels allow them to do. That's literally the best way to put it. And when I'm not saying that situations don't happen outside of that, but the record labels knew about Diddy's behavior. The record labels knew about Drake's, you know, so-called behavior. They all know what these people are into, and they're okay with this. This is not their fight. Their fight is with that information coming out. They're there to make sure that it doesn't come out. You know, so it's a protective layer to keep the industry appearing as this wonderful, lavish place where they need more people.
Hey, I'm gonna let it run through after this. I'm not gonna pause it again, y'all. I'm gonna let this finish run through because I got another video I got for y'all, and it's more better than this one. But I want y'all to understand and know this. Know this. You know how long y'all want to keep calling us black. We're not black. We're native. You know how long native people have been in an entertainment industry and have all this so-called millions of money? Why haven't none of these entertainers put money back in the hood? You know the only thing they can do? The only thing they do is come back and do Christmas giveaways, Thanksgiving giveaways. They do little giveaways. They come back to the hood and give stuff away for free. Why don't you just build a school or build a center? You know why they can't? Because it's in their contract. When you sign that contract into the industry, when you're native, you look like us, like me. You know what's in that contract? If you want this million from them, you can't do nothing productive for your people. You can give some toys, some food back. You can do some shit, but you can't do nothing to make your people wake up. You can't get your people woke. All right? I want y'all to understand that. Y'all praising all these rappers, your favorite movie owners. What are they doing for your community? Are they helping you? Are they helping your children? Are they investing into your children's future? What are they doing? Instead of rushing to give them your money, find out why they need your money, why they deserve your money. What are they going to do with your money? Wake up, people.
Sign up for. They need more people to populate it, so they don't want to scare anybody off, you know? Mm-hmm. But would you say that, did you attend any parties or anything while you were in the industry?
I attended parties, but I've never been to a Diddy's party, but I've definitely been to like social gatherings for sure. Because let's be honest, it's one big party. That's what it is, you know? Yeah. And when people say party, it's not like so like
don't get me wrong, I'm hurt too.
Yo, you're gonna come over and we're gonna party.
Too. Like
That doesn't
I
mean like
found out my
we're gonna have a
favorite
celebration,
rapper
a
is
bunch of
part
noise,
of
people
that Diddy
dancing.
shit.
That just means are you gonna come by? We're gonna do drugs.
Don't get me
Like
wrong.
partying doesn't require. When people say party in the music industry, it's usually a party between 4, 5, 6 people. That's what it's classified as party. Like, yo, we're gonna party tonight. Where's the party at? It's not usually like this. You understand what I'm saying? Like the way Diddy would do. That's what made Diddy was so crazy, because he would like really have like all these. He was really partying doing all this stuff. They say for days, right? So
I need you to make me a smoke sign.
At the other higher levels that I've been in, partying meant a few people over drinking and probably going to be some drug use.
And it'll probably get some more extreme from there, right?
Correct.
At any moment, did you see any?
I need my mom to make me a sign.
Do you know what the Freemasons are?
Yes.
Would you say that there's Freemasons involved in the music industry?
Yes.
Okay, see, that right there should prove to many people alone that you're being 100% honest, because most people in the industry aren't going to say that.
Right.
Most people in the industry are afraid of this question, or they act like they don't even know what the Masons are. Now,
but they show the symbolism so clearly.
Yeah, of course, and that's my next question. Do you believe people like P. Diddy, Jay-Z, Beyonce, do you believe they're members of either the Freemasons or other occult organizations?
That's why I think Diddy's a one-on-one, because I don't.
Hey T baby, don't be feeling alone. Like I'm all like, you better feel happy with you. Hey, whatever you wanted to say, you the mod. It's on you. Whatever you wanted to say, but don't feel alone in this chat, because once we get popping, once we get them real chattianas up in the chat, yeah. You ain't gonna be typing so much. You're gonna have to be reading and start flagging. So pay attention. But I love it though. You keep that, keep the chat chatting.
Really think that he was. He was like his own occult, and kind of like what you said. Maybe he made somebody upset or something. Like Diddy's always been kind of like a lone ranger, a lone wolf, right?
He uses the same symbolism though.
Right, but Jay-Z, you're right. But Jay-Z, yes, 100%.
Okay, good. Are you a Freemason by chance?
No.
Okay, good. I just got it. These are the questions so that my audience would trust you, and this is important to know. Jay-Z is definitely a Freemason. Diddy is 100% a Freemason. His the same man that I was telling you about, the guy who was interviewed inside of the jail by the police. He was interviewed in an interrogation room, and he was interrogated, and this is literally what he said. He said P. Diddy, Rick Ross, and DJ Khaled. He said they're all gay, and he said that they're all a part of the Bole Masonic organization.
Diddy said Ross, we said good buddies. Okay, they're gay. Both. Diddy and Ross and Khaled, they're all gay.
DJ Khaled, Rick Ross, and P. Diddy, they all gay?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I know you have what's called the Illuminati. How do I know this?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. How do you know this?
You know Sean Combs?
Puff Daddy?
Yeah.
P. Diddy, whatever you call himself.
Yeah, he's part of what's called the Boule. The Boule is a branch of the Illuminati.
Okay.
Which is essentially, it's a fraternity, a black fraternity within Freemasonry. So this is pretty much out there. Now, were you ever asked at any moment to be brought into this type of lifestyle? Not directly, maybe indirectly, maybe invited to certain situations where you felt uncomfortable, you felt that things were off?
I've been saying that loud and clear though. Make sure you understand that. My folks ain't a part of the Boule. They are Freemasons, but they ain't part of the Boule. They are part of a different branch. Yeah, but Freemasons meaning is what it is. But we gonna get into that. Just keep following the Deadwolvz How whenever you see this title.
Yeah, for sure. And I would say, with what I do know for a fact, not alleged, but DJ Khaled is bisexual, and Jay-Z has also participated in bisexual activities.
Would you want to say allegedly for your safety?
There's no, I would say allegedly, if it was allegedly. DJ Khaled, 100%, has been involved in, he's bisexual. I did a show called One Shot, and he was in Miami, and he was open with the guy that he was with. He was gay, and I don't understand what happens there, where there's nobody said anything to me like, hey,
understand that story was released by Complex, and Complex was run by Diddy.
Make sure you don't go out and say this on record. Make sure you don't say this, da-da-da-da. So it's weird that would still be hidden. That seems like that should be a fact, that DJ Khaled, at least in 2016, was definitely bisexual.
Okay,
and Jay-Z is without question bisexual.
Okay, I agree with you. I know
Jay-Z's mom is gay.
Jay-Z's mother?
Yeah, she's gay openly.
Okay, I'll have nothing against any person's preference, but in the industry, they like to hide this, specifically in hip hop. They're trying to make this normal now. They're trying to push it on so it can be more accepted within the hip hop community. But the reason why they want to keep this from the public is because they're pushing this gangster, tough guy, manly of all men persona. And if it were to come out that they were not the manly of men, so I think that's the reason why they hide it. But I 100% believe that these people are bisexual, gay, and I believe that, like I said, the Freemasons, they don't see themselves as men. They see themselves as gods. That's what the 33rd degree literally represents. It represents enlightenment. It represents reaching the level of a god. And most people will say that God is genderless, even though in Christianity, God is a man, essentially a man type of being. But in the Kabbalist way that they look at these things, they see man and woman as one. It's called the great androgynine. If I'm mispronouncing, I'm sorry.
And Clive Davis actually came out and said the same thing. After 50 years, he finally he says that he's now bi. Now he's with a man. He's gay now, but he said he was bi, and he just suddenly discovered that when he was 50 years old that he actually likes men as well. But then he also said that there was really no difference between men and women, really quoted the same thing, that the sexes are really no different. It's about pleasure. It really, you can receive pleasure from both. That is what this is, part of the agenda that they want to put out there. And again, if whatever your preference is, that's your business. But understand, this industry promotes these things, but then also tries to, they hide and disguise what they're really about, because they know if the greater public knew the type of, how degenerate they actually were, it would blow the roof off. People would not be accepting of them. We've heard about that through Hollywood as well. If you think about Richard Pryor and was Marlon Brando and all the things that have come out about different guys in Hollywood, and it's all part of an agenda. And if you are not, this is the thing that's the key. If you are not, okay, if you don't like men, well, they're going to, it seems like, force it on you to initiate you. So it's like, not only do they like minors, like young people, but they are also, they want to push that onto you, beginning with the minor, but then also pushing onto you, different sexual orientations that are not your own, as a way to hold power over you and to shame you. And so then all these rumors of how all of these guys are all mixed up together and done all these different things and how it all comes together, there is so much truth behind it. But again, they keep trying to throw the public off from their scent. But now that you have YouTube and independent people who are making videos and speaking out on these things, they can no longer hide the truth.
But it's alchemy in the sense where the femininity and the masculinity come together to create one being, which is a god. And that's literally what Masonry teaches. So I wouldn't be surprised if 90% of these people in the industry at the level of Jay-Z, Drake, Kendrick Lamar, Kanye West, all of these people at the top, if they're into this kind of thing, because I personally believe, and I've personally proven hundreds of times, that you just cannot get to that level without being a part of that club. Would you agree with that?
I definitely would agree. Right. And listen, as you're saying this, and I'm thinking about the DJ Khaled situation, that TV show, it's on BET right now. It's called One Shot. And I left. There's like stories out there where I left One Shot, and I said that I left One Shot because I was reunited with my birth parents, and that's not really. I mean, that is the truth. But the reason why I left, because the whole was gay. RZA is bisexual. Sway Calloway is bisexual. Who else was out there? DJ Khaled was bisexual. It was like one big, gay party that was all like closeted and like weird. That's why I left, because for the exact same things that you said. Like, people have their own preferences. People have their own beliefs. I know a lot of people. So I know a lot of, gay Christians. And then I know a lot of people, like the church that my family started, that would be like, there's no way that you could be a gay Christian. There's no way that you could be gay and also be a Christian at the same time. And I've done projects that are, supportive of LGBT, but it was all out in the open. The One Shot thing that I did with DJ Khaled and Sway Calloway and RZA of the Wu-Tang Clan was all so gay and also hidden. And it was annoying, and it was so weird, because it's everything that you're talking about. Just like, be gay. Like, I know Lil Nas X is like, so like, I don't like any of his music, right? But he's out there and open. And do you want to talk about like dark, wild stuff that he's promoting? Like, he seems like he's, satanic as they come. Frank Ocean.
You see, what you're mentioning though, that you're mentioning the people that they're putting in place to try to normalize this within hip hop. Right. You do see that, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to leave it off there. I will link the full interview. It's about an hour and 40 something minutes. If you want to watch it, it's a really great interview where he's exposing and talking about different things in the music industry. But I wanted to highlight this part about Jay-Z and Diddy and just give a little bit more context to what's going on. There's a great segment about Drake in there that you're going to want to hear about, because he worked closely with Drake. So with that, guys, make sure you check out the link below. Make sure you also check out my other channel, Melanie Off Script. I have some great videos that I'm going to be doing over there. Make sure you subscribe. It would help me out greatly. And with that, I will see you on the next one. Bye.
Yes,
the alleged
Lord.
crimes of Sean Diddy Combs are what's trending in true crime this morning. Welcome.
That's what's good over there. That's what's up over here. So, you seen how she rocking? Hold on 1 second, 1 second. So, what y'all think about that, though? What y'all say? What y'all say? Huh? 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 What y'all think about that? I got something else for y'all. Y'all ready for this? You ready for this? Hold on. Alright, here we go. Alright. So, that was our Diddy. Man, my little Diddy. Little saga right there. Alright. Now, let me show y'all something. We're gonna get on this Kamala Harris situation. Alright. I wanna know about her. Y'all don't know a lot about her. But y'all about to know. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Hold on 1 second. Let's get right to it. This is the beginning. This is the beginning, alright? Here we go.
All right, happy Monday, everyone. You know what? Can everybody just be real quiet for a second? I want to see if we can hear it. No, I don't hear anything at all. Nope. Definitely not hearing LeBron James on the subject of Diddy, which is weird. I'm going to actually need to hear from LeBron James on the subject of Diddy because he speaks out about virtually every other topic. Nobody asks his opinion. He gives his opinion. He's lecturing us. He's called the king. So why stay mum on your boy? That's my question. Plus, Ice Cube responds to my statement that gangster rap was created by the feds. And Janet Jackson has a message for Kamala Harris.
You ain't black.
You know what? She's getting a lot of pushback, but I'm going to have her back here because I decided to fully investigate Kamala Harris's genealogy. And what I discovered is a shocking discrepancy which no one has yet come across. Internet, I'm going to need your help. Welcome to Candace.
I'm about to have that intro like that. I love that intro. I ain't gonna hate you.
What can I say? What can I say? Well, let's start with Kanye West. There's something about Kanye West. He has a way with words, gets himself to a lot of trouble, and then when you revisit his words, you start to realize that he was making a lot of sense when you thought that he sounded completely crazy. And currently we're in that stage where a lot that Kanye West said years ago is aging like fine wine. Remember, it was him that told us that Diddy was a Fed. He was on a show and he was like, he's a Fed, he's a Fed. And everyone was like, what are you talking about? And he said, well, part of the deal when Diddy, notoriously him and J-Lo, were in the club. They began ringing out shots, shooting in the club. And then Diddy sort of didn't get into a lot of trouble for that. And Kanye was saying that it's because he did a deal with the feds. And part of that deal was that Diddy had to control other people in the industry. So we are giving you your freedom, but on behalf of the feds, you are going to keep some people in the industry in line. So you can imagine the feds just like messaging, again, this is allegedly according to Ye, messaging Diddy whenever they want him to get somebody under their thumb. And of course, Kanye West would be someone that they wanted to get under their thumb. And Kanye also mentioned that there were a lot of entertainers and athletes who he claimed were controlled. Take a listen.
They can't control me. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me. You see, it ain't no name I won't name.
And we didn't know what he was referring to then, but I will say that there is something I've noticed about those names that he is naming. LeBron James, Beyonce, Jay-Z. Why is he saying these people in particular? Well, as we know, they have a lot of clout in Black America. In fact, Black America treats these people like they're kings and queens. In fact, Black America refers to these individuals as people like they're kings and queens. In fact, Black America refers to these individuals as kings and queens. Yes, LeBron James is known as the king, right? Beyonce is the queen, Queen Bey. Whenever these people come out and they make a statement politically, everyone just immediately gets into formation, especially for Beyonce, if you get where I'm going here. Beyonce and Jay-Z were one of the first people that were out marching for Trayvon Martin. Remember that picture of them? They were out marching and everyone said, oh my gosh, that was it. Suddenly BLM was a thing. It was mainstreamed and you were not allowed to be a Black person that stood against BLM, because who would stand against something that the Queen herself ordained? And something else that I've noticed is that these individuals, they're all on the same side politically. Like, don't you think that's kind of strange? Wouldn't you just expect amongst different people for them to just have different opinions? Like, who do you agree with 100% of the time? Well, as it turns out, in Hollywood, you essentially have to be on the left. You have to, especially if you're a Black American, feed the Democrat machine. And the Democrat machine loves a good race bait, right? We're constantly having to tell Black Americans that, oh, just, you know, one more hill to climb. If you guys elect Barack Obama, then the racism of the past will be over. Then Black Americans elect Barack Obama, and after Barack Obama's president, it seems like race issues are worse than ever before. Oh, it's okay. We've got BLM now, and if we just keep rioting and looting in the streets, then we will finally get the justice that we deserve. And truly, it's crazy to see this. It's crazy to see how easy it is for these celebrities to come out and make a statement and to just watch all of Black America follow along, asking no questions, as if everybody's a robot. And God forbid you're someone like me who goes, hey, wait a minute. What if this is just stupid? And they go, oh, Uncle Tom, race traitor. She must do this for white people. She doesn't care about us. She ain't like us. She is not invited to the cookout. I'm not invited to the cookout. And essentially what they're saying is we are all one monolith. And we have, in a lot of ways, become a monolith because we worship these stars. It's quite bizarre to see this. And so LeBron James, let's really hone in on his messages of the past, because he's become one of these, I would say, state puppets. Whatever the state wants, whatever initiative the state is after, LeBron James is selling to the youth. As one example, of course, with George Floyd. Oh my gosh, he was really trying to tell Black America, oh my gosh, you should be out rioting. We should be out rioting and protesting because I am enraged and you should be enraged. And here is something that he actually shared on his Instagram at that time. Do you understand now? Exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point, question mark, or is it still blurred to you? Hashtag stay woke. And then the photo is Derek Chauvin and George Floyd. This is why. And of course, Colin Kaepernick, who became a hero, picked out his hair, decided he only wanted to be known as Black and not half white as he is. He really leaned into this stereotype of a Black man suffering, playing for the NFL, earning millions of dollars, despite the fact that he's a subpar player. And that was it. A movement was born. And that wasn't it, by the way. When the Ahmaud Arbery footage was released, this is what LeBron James tweeted. He tweeted, "We're literally hunted every day. Every time we step foot outside the comfort of our homes. Can't even go for a damn jog, man. Like, what the F, man? Are you kidding me?" Exclamation points, question mark, exclamation point, question mark, a lot of that, okay? No, man, for real. Are you kidding me? I'm sorry, Ahmaud. Rest in paradise, and my prayers and blessings sent to the family. I can't, you guys have the second part of this tweet? Basically, oh yeah, that's it. That's all he wrote. That was the end of the tweet. And so you see this message again, where LeBron James is taking on this ability to just make Black Americans lean into the emotion of every situation. Even, you know, if the reality is that George Floyd, as they were trying to peaceably arrest him, ingested a bunch of fentanyl like he had done in the past and had 3 times the amount of fentanyl inside of his system, enough fentanyl in him to kill a horse. And even if the reality is that fentanyl quite literally makes you stop breathing, he leaves that out because the message here is that white people are the enemy, cops are the enemy. And he carried on this message also, the situation pertaining to Jacob.
But right there, once again, this is why we blackballed you, Candace. You still saying that dumb shit. How does that make sense? If he had that much fentanyl in him, how would he be able to walk around? Like, this is right. Candace, stop, please.
Blake, he tweeted this, and y'all wonder why we say what we say about the police. Someone please tell me, what the F is this? Exactly. Another Black man being targeted. This SHIT is so wrong and so sad. Feel sorry for him, his family, and our people. We want justice. And he retweets Attorney Crump. Now, I just want to remind you guys, Jacob Blake, he was that 29-year-old Black man who was partly paralyzed after a white police officer shot him 7 times in the back in Kenosha. You might remember him as a knife-wielding maniac. He was literally wielding a knife. But somehow this shooting, which was totally justified, became a rallying cry. And there were demonstrators in Kenosha and across the country who were boycotting professional sports leagues as well. And it was just people looting, destroying, what we see over and over again. And they blamed Trump because he said we need law and order. Now, according to the criminal complaint, Blake had allegedly entered the house of a woman he knew. She was the one who called the police in the early hours of the morning. He sexually assaulted her, and then he took a debit card and car keys before fleeing in her vehicle. So, yeah, might have been a reason if somebody's coming at you with a knife and is fleeing a scene of a crime after allegedly having sexually assaulted a woman and stolen from her, and she called the police. There might have been a reason that shooting took place, but LeBron James leaves that out. Because again, I don't know who he's working for, but it seems like he's one of the ones that are picked, chosen.
All right, I'm not going to sit here and not pick her out real quick. Because I fuck what she's saying. Don't get me wrong. But she's trying to criticize. Don't get me wrong. She's that's the right criticism because LeBron left out a lot of shit. But just like you just said out your mouth, Candace, if George Floyd had that much amount of fentanyl in his system, how could he operate? How could your... I know. I'm from D.C. All right, baby. Candace, I'm from D.C., baby. I know some mean-ass crackheads. When fentanyl hit these streets, that is so... Look here. You ain't really... You may see you ain't in these streets for real, girl. Calm down. Because what you're saying is stupid. Because that's why us in the hood, us real natives, which y'all keep being racist against us and calling us blacks. We're not blacks and we're not African Americans. We're natives. There's nothing African about us. I don't have an African cousin. I don't have an African grandfather. I don't have an African great-grandfather. All my ancestors are natives. Stop calling us blacks. You ain't black. That's not even a race. That's a color. I fuck with you though. It's just certain shit, man. It's just I can't keep taking.
To deliver this message to the masses, a man who doesn't even touch his own door handles, telling you that we can't go outside. I'm sorry, who can't go outside? What are you speaking about? I'm pretty sure LeBron James lives in a $100 million mansion in Beverly Hills. Why can't you go outside, LeBron? Is it like too hot? Is it like the summertime? I'm not clear on that. So one thing that I've recognized is that LeBron James, despite saying all of this, is really mum on the Diddy case. I mean, if he cares so much about Black victimhood, you would think that he would use his platform to speak right now when the perpetrators are, you know, his friends, allegedly. Let me show you this clip of LeBron James speaking about how much he loves a Diddy party.
Hey, everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Don't forget to put in the box.
Ain't no party like a Diddy party, Mo. That
Ain't
is
no party like a
legendary.
Diddy party.
That
And by
shit
the way, he's not lying
legendary.
there. From everything that I've read, if these allegations are true, there truly is no party like a Diddy party. Because I don't know any party. I've been to a lot of parties in my youth. Never did we have like pink cocaine in bottles and like thousands of bottles of baby oil and people that were sex slaves sleeping with each other. We just did not. So it could be just factually a true statement to say that there ain't no party like a Diddy party. Now let me show you this clip of him partying with Diddy dancing to a Migos song. Take a listen.
And he knew every word,
Well, it looks like he's having a really good time. It looks like he's had a lot of time with Diddy. They've been friends for years. They're always hugging, dapping up, bad boys for life, right? And so where is LeBron James, who has elected himself the mayor of speaking out when nobody cares to hear his opinion, speaking out to emote to Black Americans, to make Black Americans emotional in order to make them feel justified in their behavior when they riot and they loot? Because that's what he's doing. He's in his mansion. He's tweeting, you see, we can't even step outside in Beverly Hills. We can't even. And then the Black youth are seeing this. They're going, that's my king. And they take to the streets and they get themselves in trouble. So again, where is LeBron on the Diddy thing? Because if you're telling me that you use your platform to speak out when there are Black victims, there sure as hell seems to be a lot of them when it comes to Diddy. In fact, it would seem, if these
There's a lot of
allegations are
victims
true,
in the
that he was
Diddy. Where's
systematically
LeBron?
victimizing Black men. He was systematically victimizing producers, victimizing women. We saw him obviously beat Cassie. He took ownership of that, so we don't have to say allegedly. When it comes to him beating Cassie, you were friends with him throughout all of this. You were at these parties. You are seeing more and more people speak out about how they were sexually assaulted allegedly at these parties. We understand that people were drugged without them knowing. If, again, these allegations are true from producer Lil Rod and they are replacing the liquor with a cocktail of cocaine and psychostimulants, where are you, king? This is Rock America all the time. Bring me your kings and bring me your queens. These are the people that you're supposed to follow into the street as you burn down your own neighborhoods. And now, when you have an objective reality like this one, Diddy having been arrested, not being allowed to make a bail because of how severe the allegations are, people that have produced footage and photos and are speaking out about how scared they are for their lives. Remember, Lil Rod is in hiding, saying that he is scared for his life because he has people everywhere. Has LeBron James offered to cut a check? Has LeBron James simply made a statement that this is wrong? Has LeBron James maybe just said, hey, I was at those parties, but I didn't realize that this was taking place? Or, hear me out, is it plausible that the reason that LeBron James is opting to be so quiet is because when he read that lawsuit and realized that Diddy had cameras everywhere, unbeknownst to his party goers at these freak-offs, is it plausible that he's got LeBron James doing something that he wouldn't want made public?
Yeah.
Is it plausible
About
that Ye was
championship,
right
yeah.
and the feds were using him to keep people in control by filming them when they're high, when they're drunk, when they're doing something that they wouldn't want people to know that they were doing behind closed doors? Maybe it's just cheating on a spouse, who knows? Is it plausible that he's collected something about LeBron James that he is fearful may be made public? I don't know. I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking for the king to use his platform to speak to us peasants. And that's all I'm saying about that. All right, guys, reminding you about preborn because according to a recent report, Planned Parenthood continues to rake in billions despite dwindling clients. The biggest takeaway is that Planned Parenthood is generating vast profits, including millions in taxpayer funding. With preborn, we get to actively steal their clientele, which means the babies that they are trying to kill, we get a chance to rescue. Preborn operates on a very slim budget, rescuing over 200 babies' lives every single day with no government funding. Preborn's network of clinics are situated in the darkest corners of the nation, competing head-to-head with the abortion giants, and they need our help now more than ever.
And we do
When you donate just $28
Living off adrenaline, we will be promoting preborn.
to preborn, you'll offer a free ultrasound to an expectant mother that's caught in a crisis, because once she hears that baby's heartbeat and sees that precious life, her baby's chance at life will double. So sponsor a precious baby's life today. Your tax-deductible gift will go directly towards saving babies' lives. You just dial pound 250 and say the keyword baby. That's pound 250 baby. Or you can go to preborn.com/Candace. Again, that's preborn.com/Candace. All right, guys, we got to get into this Janet Jackson story. It's actually quite funny. I'm really feeling the Jackson vibes again, like just on the basis of what they have been speaking out about. I don't know if you, Randy Jackson, if you follow him on Instagram. I mean, they're speaking out about really important issues, and they don't seem to be taking the bait of allowing Hollywood to control them. So anyways, Janet Jackson is under fire, and I will tell you why she's under fire, because she is currently on a European tour, and as it goes, when you're on tour, they make you do a bunch of media, a bunch of press just to promote the tour. She also has an upcoming Las Vegas residency that is, I believe, beginning this weekend. So as a part of doing this press, she sat down to give a long-form interview to promote her tour with a journalist over at The Guardian named Nosheen Iqbal. Okay, I'm going to read you directly from this interview because there's actually two things that I want to point to that are incredible. Now, this journalist is writing in first person format, so she's just like speaking about what she sees. This is in the journalist's voice. The journalist writes, "We move on to talk about the State of the Union. Jackson brought politics directly to the pop consciousness with Rhythm Nation. She's a prolific social media user and has used her profile to support Black Lives Matter to bring awareness to police brutality. Does she feel despondent about how slow change is incoming, or is she hopeful about the future?" This is a quote now from Janet. "Well, there's all this child trafficking crap that's going on and sex trafficking crap, you know what I mean? That wasn't so prevalent then. The journalist now remarks, it's a strange about turn, not least because of the many allegations of child sexual abuse made against Michael, but it is also the most forceful that she has been since we sat down. Quote, at least we didn't know about it back then. I don't think we did we? Not really. I think it's really now out in the open because it's like $1 billion business and all that crap." The journalist, "I wonder what internet rabbit hole she's been going down. Before I can ask, she's moved on." So first and foremost, she is bringing up something. Janet Jackson is bringing up sex trafficking, human trafficking. We know this is a reality. We know that it's a problem. We've been speaking about it on this show as well. And the journalist, rather than being curious about it, essentially just tries to smear post-mortem smear Michael Jackson, being like, given the allegations against her brother, it's why would she even bring this up? And just wants to move on from it. I just find it incredible that the entire mainstream media apparatus wants to pretend like child sex trafficking is not a thing. Maybe it's because the people that are doing the trafficking have a lot of power in this country. I mean, that's the first thought that comes to my mind. Why would you just move on from this and try to make it seem like she's crazy for talking about an issue that is real? Now, it goes on, and she's quoting Janet here. "On the Rhythm Nation album, for us, it was about making a difference in a kid's life, a teenager's life, from them taking this path with drugs and going down the wrong street to trying to make something of themselves. On that record, she sang about joining voices in protest to social injustice and pushing toward a world rid of color lines. I wonder where she stands in the forthcoming election. After all, I say, America could be on the verge.
I want y'all to understand that and look up the Michael Jackson Deep Theory. His last few songs, his last 2 albums was against the industry. Well, actually, he started speaking up against the industry when they set his hair on fire. That was their first thing to kill him. That was the week they killed him. Michael Jackson was killed that week in that hospital, and that's when they started cloning. That's when they perfected their first clone, the Michael Jackson clone. Michael Jackson clone was the first perfected clone that came out here and survived that long until they felt like it was time to. Yeah, all right, but we made enough money off of him. Take the clone out. Think about it. Look at the funeral. Look how they did his funeral. Look how his family talked about it. Look how they discussed it. It's preordained. Let me say it like that. But that's for a whole nother day. That's a whole nother content. Let's get back to this.
Of voting its first black female president, Kamala Harris. This is Janet Jackson. Well, you know what they said, supposedly, she asked me. She's not black. That's what I heard, that she's Indian. She looks at me expectantly, perhaps assuming that I have Indian heritage. Well, she's both, I offer. Her father's white, Janet says. That's what I was told. I mean, I haven't watched the news in a few days. I was told they discovered her father was white. The journalist writes, I'm floored at this point. It is well known that Harris's father is a Jamaican economist, a Stanford professor who split from her Indian mother when she was 5. Okay. So this journalist is obviously not a journalist. This person is an activist. They were sent to do this interview for a reason, sent to write this profile piece to make it look like Janet is crazy, and of course sent to get the quotation she expected, which was that it's going to be amazing to have a black woman as president because, again, they're signaling to black people, get into line, this is your new Obama, despite any evidence that she is black. And so I actually thought, has anybody really investigated Kamala Harris's genealogy? Like, we just keep being told she's black suddenly, and the media keeps overreacting when people say she's not black. And I can't find any evidence that Kamala Harris is black. So I said, I'm going to pause everything and do a deep dive on Kamala Harris's genealogy. And what I discovered is so shocking, okay? So first, let's start with just Kamala Harris's birth certificate. This is it. This is an authentic copy of it. It's already been discussed. You can see in the corner there that we have highlighted on her mother, her mother's name is an Indian name, Shailamala Gopalan, and under color or race of mother, her mother has put Caucasian, extremely controversial, but we don't need to focus on the mother because the mother, everyone accepts the mother is not black at all, right? So if she's some part Caucasian, majority Indian, everyone accepts that the mother is not the claim to her black heritage, it is the father. So in the bottom there, you can see that it says that her father's name is Donald Jasper Harris and that the color or the race of the father is listed as Jamaican, okay? So you can be Jamaican, you can grow up in Jamaica and not be black, obviously. It's like Elon Musk, like he was born and raised in Africa. It would be absurd for Elon Musk to say that he was black because he is not black. He is a white African. So I wanted to go further into Donald Jasper Harris, allegedly born in Jamaica in 1938. He has indicated that someone in his family is black. So who are his parents, okay? So this is Kamala's dad, Donald Harris. We're looking now into Kamala's grandparents. The grandparents' names are Beryl Christie Finnegan Harris and Oscar Joseph Brown Harris. So let's start with Beryl. Let's start with her grandmother. This is an alleged photo of Beryl Christie Harris, okay? It is the only one that exists in the public domain, and I want you guys to know that it was presented by Kamala herself. I looked at it and I was like, oh, okay, like where did this photo come from? Actually, Kamala is the one that entered this into the public domain in her book, which is entitled The Truths We Hold, which was published in 2019. So looking at this woman, she looks black, and she wrote, visiting my paternal grandmother, Beryl, in Jamaica, okay? Now, when I saw this, I assumed it was a fake photo, and I assumed that somebody had put it up other than Kamala, because just doing a very brief search, and then I triple, quadruple checked this across multiple websites, genealogy websites and genealogists, that can't be Kamala's grandmother. Let's pull up a picture of her again. That can't be Kamala's grandmother because, at least according to my research, Grandma Beryl died before Kamala was born. And now I want the internet to fact check this with me. This is wild, okay? Beryl was born in 1921 and she died in 1960, okay? I've checked grave sites everywhere. This is it's not exactly a very common name and not an exactly very common place specifically where she was born, St. Anne's Parish in Jamaica. That would mean that Beryl had Kamala's father when she was just 17 years old in 1938, and she died when she was just 39 years old. The black woman in that photo is not 39 years old. So this is a major discrepancy, okay? And this is just a tiny bit of digging. I went, wait a second. Has anybody realized that, like, Beryl allegedly died when she was 39 years old in 1960? Right. That means that Kamala would have been born 4 years after her grandmother died in 1964. 1964 is when Kamala was born. Her grandmother died in 1960. So who is that woman that is in the photo with Kamala? Okay. Beryl Finnegan, now looking more into her grandmother, was definitively not black. Now, how do we know this? Because Beryl, that woman that you just saw, her father was Patrick Alhanasus Finnegan, who was an Irish slaver, okay? So that woman that you just saw, at a bare minimum, has to be half white. An Irish slaver is who her father was. Doesn't look like that. Maybe that Irish slaver married a super duper black woman. I don't know, but I know that that is not a picture of Beryl, and I know that Beryl is at a minimum half white, okay? Because the father was an Irish slaver. Now, what about Kamala's grandfather? The other side of this, Oscar Joseph Brown Harris is his name. That's allegedly who Beryl married, right? Okay. What I've learned about him, this is the photo that they have produced of him. That's supposed to be her grandfather. What I've learned about Oscar was that he was born in 1914. Brown was his mother's maiden name. His mother was a woman named Christiana Brown, who was known as Miss Chrissy. Christiana Brown's father was also a white Irish slave trader named Colonel Hamilton Brown. That is the white Irish slave trader named Colonel Brown. He married an indentured servant, an Irish woman named Kate Williams, presumably Catherine Williams. And let me tell
hey, chat. Y'all don't know. I got a dog bite on my hand from last year. I'm a little disabled with my right-handed and my right pinky. So this is my cast. I'm going through therapy right now. So next month I go through surgery. So yeah, Professor Ghost gonna be back in full effect. That's what I'm saying. It's about to be a good winter. All right, so I just had to hip y'all. Like, y'all see the black, black on my hand. Like, it's a cast. It's a finger cast. Trying to get my finger back straight.
Tell you how wealthy her family was. Colonel Hamilton established the town that they lived in. It was called Hamilton Town. It's now called Brown Town, and he owned, at a minimum, 1,120 slaves, according to records, okay? So they were a family of wealthy Irish slave traders. But now let's go back to that photo again. Who is this with Kamala Harris that is wrongly assumed to be her grandmother? Again, you guys can fact check me. I was going, this is just weird. How did nobody notice this? Well, that woman looks an awful lot like a slightly younger version of somebody that we are told is Kamala's great-grandmother, okay? A woman named Ora Iris Finnegan Allen. See, that face looks just like the woman that we just saw, but slightly older. Now, let's go back again to that photo of Beryl, who's definitely not Beryl. Okay, and let's go forward here so you guys can get this in your head. That looks like the same woman to me, okay?
That looked like
but this woman is allegedly her great-grandmother, who is known as Miss Iris.
All right, so here's the thing. She's trying to pass these two females off as her family. These are not her family members. Remember, Kamala Harris' family were slave owners. These are slaves she's trying to pass off as her family. And you're about to learn a lot of her parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents, and great-grandparents were fucking these slaves, because there's a lot of confusion. Well, you'll see, chat. You'll see.
Iris, okay? So pull up Miss Iris again, the great-grandmother who Kamala is allegedly on her lap. We can all agree that that woman looks to be at least some percentage black, and it's about to get weird, okay? So first, just so we are clear, even if this woman was 100% black, that would make Kamala majority Irish white. She would be majority white. So it's completely crazy that she would suddenly claw out and pretend that she's black, okay? If she was 100% that woman, great-grandmother, if she was 100% black, that would make Kamala 12% black under a best case scenario. But I thought, okay, that's Miss Iris. She's saying that's her great-grandmother. Let me verify that Miss Iris was fully black. And a way to do that would be to take a look at Miss Iris's children, you know? Now, to be clear, she allegedly had 4 children. So we have Kamala's missing grandmother, Beryl, who allegedly died at the age of 39, as well as some of Kamala's great uncles and great aunts. And their names were Abraham Judah Finnegan, Noel Finnegan, and Bernard Finnegan, okay? So Beryl, the missing grandma, has 3 siblings, Abraham, Judah Finnegan, Noel Finnegan, and Bernard Finnegan. All of these people have apparently evaporated into thin air. Literally cannot find a single trace of these people, who definitely do not have black names, okay? And I'm just going, I just want to see a picture here. So I'm going to put a bounty on it. I would like someone to do a little bit of due diligence here. Find me Beryl Finnegan and Beryl's 3 siblings, okay? A photo, anything, $1,000. You email it to info@candaceowens.com, because I am telling you, something is not right here. How did nobody realize that Beryl died in 1960 and Kamala, in her book, published a photo of a grandparent who she wasn't alive to meet, okay? Where is the real Beryl? Like a photo of Beryl, a photo of any of Beryl's siblings, literally disappeared without a trace. This is the only reason, okay, that people are convinced that Kamala must have some black in her family, is because of these alleged relatives. And it's just ironic, because her family is extraordinarily Irish white, extraordinarily wealthy slave-owning descendants. And the only reason we have this image in our head, just like Trump said, suddenly she was black, is because Kamala's father in 2020, just after Kamala published that photo in her book, Kamala's father in 2020 similarly decided to publish an essay entitled Reflections of a Jamaican Father, where he only included, in all of his white Irish slave-owning family, he only decided to include a photo of Miss Iris and Miss Chrissy, who look like the same person to me. Why would he do that? We got a big old family, got a ton of wealth, everyone's got a slave. Why did you decide in 2020 to publish a photo of these 2 women, just like Kamala did in her book? I've got question marks. I don't know how it's possible that every time we are electing someone to office, they have a very shady family background, and hers is extremely shady. By the way, Finnegan, there are tons of Finnegans, okay? So I'm not putting 2 and 2 together here, but that also is Joe Biden's family name, like Finnegans for Joe Biden's family, Finnegans in her family. I wonder if there's a little bit of cross-contamination. Could be, could not be. Like I said, it's a popular last name, but there's something weird here, okay? Beryl and siblings, huge question mark. I don't know. Abraham Judah does not sound to me like the blackest person in the world. And I'm going to need you guys to get on it, internet. $1,000 bounty. Email it to info@candaceowens.com, especially if you're in Jamaica. We got to be able to find something here. Like, if these siblings just disappeared into thin air. Where's great aunt and great uncle? Where's your great unc? All right, guys, I'm going to pause there and tell you a bit about Native Path. Their collagen is absolutely amazing. It's a single ingredient formula with no fillers, additives, or artificial sweeteners. Native Path collagen is made with only type 1 and 3 collagen fibers, which are found in your cartilage, bones, skin, hair, nails, and gut. Their ingredients are scientifically backed to increase bone mineral density, support tissue recovery, reduce wrinkles, enhance hair thickness, and strengthen weak or damaged nails. Completely flavorless, Native Path collagen can be added to anything. Coffee, smoothies, oatmeal, you name it. Its peptide formula makes it more bioavailable, meaning that it's absorbed more easily and mixes perfectly without clumping. Right now, when you visit nativepath.sales/Candace, you can stock up on Native Path collagen for up to an incredible 45% off today, plus free shipping. Every order comes with a 365-day money-back guarantee, so you can try it risk-free today. Native Path offers amazing bundle deals. You can get 3 or 6 packs at a fraction of the price of other brands. Visit nativepath.sales/Candace today. All right, guys. So by the time we finish our episode on Friday,
I let you promo.
I realized that I was trending on the internet, and I was trending on the internet because I tweeted something. I will tell you what I tweeted. Gangster rap was never black culture. It was created by the feds who proffered deals to homosexual black men in prison and then turned them into artificial celebrities. The goal was to create false idols, to destroy Black American values. I will never change my mind on this, obviously. So I guess people started asking some rappers who they believe contributed to the gangster rap scene whether or not what I had to say was correct. And Ice Cube responded. He wrote, "We called it reality rap. The industry coined it gangster rap. The fans wanted gangster rap, and that's what they got. The feds didn't write none of my shit. I'm a real MC." Okay, so I never said the feds wrote the music. So all these like publications were like, that Ice Cube debunks or whatever, like Ice Cube gets Candace and says that this is crazy theory. I never said they wrote the lyrics. I do not think the feds are writing the lyrics to Sexy Red. That's not how this works, you know? And I would, by the way, welcome this conversation with you, Ice Cube, because I think you probably do understand exactly what I'm talking about, okay? So essentially, and this is not just, by the way, for gangster rap music. This is also it was an entire Fed operation. When you look into Tavistock Institute, they introduced love, drugs, and rock and roll. Like the hippie music and the hippie era was not organic. I hope you recognize that by now. It was actually the CIA that provided the LSD, got everybody high, okay? And you can look up Charles Manson, who was a part of the MK Ultra program. He was a person that was in and out of prison. They decided to turn him into an asset. He was given all of these drugs to distribute, to get people high all of the time. That is what I'm speaking about. So they have some explicit end, and they introduce a drug into the community. I believe truly when it comes to the hippie generation, it was about turning a very Christian society into a free love, sex everywhere type of society. And the book that I recommend you guys read, if you're looking for documents and looking for people to cite where that came from, you guys know I've told you to read Chaos 1,000 times. I'm going to tell you 1,000 more times. It's really shocking to understand how much the feds were involved in distributing CIA. Now this kind of makes us go back to what we covered on Friday's episode, where you had that guy, I think his name was Brandon Odie, who said that hip hop was a similar agenda, that they were flooding drugs, that the feds were flooding drugs, the DEA was flooding drugs into the community, drugs that were a mixture. Again, this guy, Jonathan Odie, was sounding crazy in 2018, but it sort of matches up. It radically transformed Black American society in the same way that LSD and the hippie communes radically transformed family life amongst white Americans, right? It was meant to crush, in my view, the Christian culture, that they did not feel that they could control people as individuals, which is what they need. They need to break apart the family unit if they want to control you, right? They don't want you listening to your mom. They want you cutting class, strumming.
That's why they gave welfare and all this. You take the man, the government, and play the man. You take the man out the house, which stops making more real men. But not in my household. I raised mine. I'm going to make sure there's a man in this world.
On a guitar, and I very much believe that the Beatles were created by the feds. And if you look into the murder of what was the book that John Lennon, this killer, was allegedly holding? Catcher in the Rye, I think was the book that he was holding. And if you look into the truth, the CIA was there that day that he got shot. So I have a lot of questions about that. And yes, it is 1,000% true that they had these psychiatric institutes that were looking into the way that music frequencies would impact our behavior. So Does it mean that the feds are writing the music for people that are strumming the guitar? No, but it does mean that they are specifically going out and finding artists to fulfill a specific goal, right? It is not a coincidence that they just keep finding these people that are creating derogatory music. Black American music was uplifting. Black American music was about family life. Black American music was about love. Then there was this radical shift. And suddenly it's like all of the execs wanted to sign people that were talking about drugs and thug life and bop, bop, bop in the club. And it just becomes more and more derogatory. And we can see the impact of those frequencies all around us. Kids aspiring to live that life because they think it's cool. That is the Hollywood it factor, right? We're going to make this guy seem cool. We're going to get them to follow Jay-Z. We're going to get them to worship this lifestyle and believe that if they live this life, if they're selling drugs, they could maybe one day end up like Jay-Z. That is what I am saying. It was a Fed operation once they realized that they wanted to break apart the Black family and they wanted to create this cycle, this hip hop to prison pipeline. They went out, they found the artists that they wanted. I believe the execs are a part of this, and I think much more is going to come out in this Diddy suit because there were musical execs that were named in this that the media is conveniently forgetting. I believe they were a part of that operation. Actually, ironically, speaking of the Beatles, Lucien Grange, who was named in the Diddy suit as the person that's allegedly sits at the top with Diddy, used to be working for the Beatles. He had a different last name, a totally different last name. It used to just be G-E-E. And he worked with his father as a tailor to the Beatles. And now he's a giant music exec. So, as I said, more will come out. I stand by my statement that gangster rap was intentionally encouraged, and then they found some people that were just straight up actors to play this role of a gangster.
Tupac.
And one of those people is obviously Tupac.
Biggie.
So let's just watch this footage. You may forget this. Tupac was an actor, and I'm pretty sure he was not a heterosexual actor either on the basis of this clip. Take a listen.
I'm most like my mom because I'm
How was he a gangster?
Totally arrogant. I agree.
He's young.
I have to say it. Like at work,
Like
I
20,
can't hold the job. I
22.
just quit my job today actually because I wanted to come and do
How
this.
was he straight?
And they wouldn't let me.
What's Thug Life
And
about?
I felt like it was important and
What's
it was
Thug
more
Life
important
about
than serving pizza. And
Him and Diddy
we had
was in the
enough people,
same room.
So
He
I felt
put
like
Diddy
since I'm an
on.
actor, they should understand. They should
Wake
let me
the
do
fuck
it.
up.
But
Y'all
they
don't
didn't.
even know.
And then I had a cold.
Y'all don't even
so
know
they
y'all
made me work
history.
in a freezer. And I'm really
Tupac
not
was
one
a
to be
whole
disrespected,
faggot.
and I felt like that was disrespectful.
No
because I had
disrespect to
go,
y'all. No disrespect
so
to LGBT.
I quit, and
But-
he told me I couldn't quit, and that
Tupac
even made
was
me
with
hyper. I'm arrogant, so when he told me I couldn't quit, and we had all these customers, I chose that time to jump on a soapbox, grab my leather jacket, light a cigarette in front of him, smoke, and leave in the middle of a rush. So that was natural. That's arrogance at the top. That's I think I'm most like my mother, and she likes it. She'll see it in me and know it. And we clash a lot because I'm arrogant, she's arrogant, and you should see us when we get in our little attitude moods.
I'm just saying it's a lot of hand movement for an eventual thug life gangster, okay? And like I said,
I
he
wouldn't
was
be doing
in
all
school
that
for
or
performing
saying any
arts.
and most of that.
Yeah, they were looking for people. That's him being cast. And it's very obvious to me that gangster rap was some sort of an operation and remains today. All the trap music, all the people that are getting signed, I don't say this with any ill will in my heart. I'm just not going to be convinced that, like, you know, Sexy Red is the #1 talent that Black America can offer, that she gets a record deal, and that they couldn't find someone else that was producing music of a higher caliber. Again, not a shot at her, not a shot at you, Ice Cube, just calling it like I see it because it is very obvious. All right, guys, I do also, before we go, want to get to this Katy Perry story because it's great. I really appreciated this about Katy Perry years ago. I obviously have used my platform to speak out against the Me Too movement, and there was no greater proof of just guilty until proven innocent and sort of this war against men than when Kesha literally just cried in the back of a courtroom. Like, she just was crying in the back of the courtroom, trying to get out of her deal with Sony. And the entire world broke in her favor, believed that she was a victim, because why else would a woman be crying when she's not getting what she wants unless everything she's saying is true? And she made these allegations against Dr. Luke, who was her then producer, that he had raped her. And that was all it took. She made the allegation. They said she was so brave. She sort of rebranded as this brave woman. And he quietly was fighting this from start to finish, saying that she was lying and it was impacting his family. And I just never bought her story. I didn't buy her story because I just feel like when a woman tells me that she wakes up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy, that she brushes her teeth with a bottle of Jack, that maybe what comes with that sort of a lifestyle is a willingness to sleep with men. And I don't think, again, speaking to...
I'm sorry. Waking up feeling like P. Diddy is crazy. That is diabolical. How do you wake up feeling like Diddy? Hey, Mo, the day I wake up feeling like Diddy, I'm going to go ahead and jump off my balcony.
To like people that get record deals like Kesha, not the #1 greatest singer. And I know how the industry is, and people sleep with people in the industry because they want record deals. That's just the reality that it is. Prostitution is the oldest craft in the world, right? I'm not saying Kesha is a prostitute. I am just saying that her story didn't make sense to me right away, and I was willing to give Dr. Luke the benefit of the doubt.
You ain't had to say it, but you put it in my mind.
And as time went on, Kesha made a bit of an uh-oh, and her fans still are going to be pissed at me for calling this out. But the reality is that Kesha texted Lady Gaga and said he also raped Katy Perry. And
facts. That's facts. She's begging for smoke.
Because they had received all of her text messages and they saw this, they deposed Katy Perry under oath and asked her if Dr. Luke raped her. And Katy Perry said no. She said that that was a lie. And this effectively ruined Kesha's case, right? Because she had said some other woman was raped who said that she wasn't raped. And I can't imagine if Katy Perry was raped that she wouldn't just say she was raped, because this guy could have been in a lot of trouble. And so she ended up dropping the allegations against Dr. Luke quietly, right? So all of this fanfare, like basically taking down this man, calling him a rapist, and then like the press never covers the follow-up, right? Because they had already like done the Me Too thing and made her like an icon of like brave woman, and she like quietly like dropped this case against him. And then you have Katy Perry, who I think did something quite brave. Like she just told the truth and said I was not a rape victim. Well, she's under fire because she is opting to work with Dr. Luke again. And that really is an implicit middle finger to the Me Too movement and her former friend, Kesha. They were friends. They got into the industry together. We don't know what happened, but they aren't friends anymore. And so Katy Perry recently went on to the Call Her Daddy podcast and was questioned about her decision to work with Dr. Luke. Take a listen.
I know a lot of people have expressed disappointment and were really upset that you decided to involve Dr. Luke on this album. Why did you choose to work with him?
Look, I understand that it started a lot of conversations, and he was one of many collaborators that I collaborated with. But the reality is it comes from me. The truth is I wrote these songs from my experience of my whole life going through this metamorphosis. And he was one of the people to help facilitate all that. One of the writers, one of the producers.
That's cool. So to people that are upset about this, I want to ask you a question. Why does Katy Perry have to pretend that she was raped to make you happy? She wasn't raped. It didn't happen. She's happy that this guy helped her out in her career. Why do people have to step into a fantasy land of somebody else to make you guys feel happy because you were so emotionally invested in Me Too that absent any evidence, you convicted a man? Like, we have to stop being like that as women. I just cannot stand this culture of like, well, she's crying, so she must be telling the truth. Women don't lie. Hashtag believe women. Or if you're going to hashtag believe women, why don't you hashtag believe Katy Perry when she says, I wasn't raped and I'd like to work with this person who helped me in my career. Good for you, Katy, for holding the line on this. You don't have to lie to make crazy people happy. That's all I'm going to say on that topic. Guys, I'm going to get into your comments, but first I want to remind you about American financing because mortgage interest rates are finally dropping.
All right, y'all. We about to get into the second part. We about to get dig deep. Relationship deep with Camilla Harris. All right. We about to get relationship deep with Kamala Harris. I want y'all to understand that. We about to. All right? Ain't no more Diddy. We done with Diddy. Diddy ain't important no more. Diddy snitching on everybody, all right? I want y'all to remember that. Diddy snitching on everybody. He ain't doing too much. All right, let's go to Candace to check Candace out. Let's check Candace out. What she talking about? We get right into it. We was on 70. Here we go. 71, baby. We're going to get into 72 and 73
Well,
tomorrow.
happy Tuesday. I can tell you guys one thing. The powers that be really did not like our episode yesterday. Because after we crossed 500,000 views in less than 5 hours, suddenly we got hit on YouTube with this bizarre age restriction. We've never been hit with that ever before. It said that we somehow violated the policy on graphic violence and nudity. I mean, what? We literally just read Kamala's book and pointed out a major discrepancy. Mainly that her grandmother, who she produced a photo of herself with, happened to die before Kamala was born. So yeah, seems a little odd. Just asking questions here. Well, today we were able to secure the birth certificates and the death certificates and some marriage certificates, which confirm that Kamala either made a huge mistake, all by accident, or she outright lied because she wanted to convince the public that she was black. Do not go away, you guys, because this is about to get crazy. Welcome back to Candace. All right, so let's recap. Yesterday, I can admit I was completely triggered. I was triggered by the manner in which the Guardian, or a Guardian reporter rather, treated Janet Jackson in a profile piece. It was very obvious they were trying to do the wacko jacko bit again, like they did with her brother. So to remind you, Janet Jackson brought up in her interview human trafficking, child trafficking, and the journalist then decided to heavily imply that Janet Jackson was just nuts, to pretend that we have a child trafficking issue in this country. And then when the reporter switched gears and asked her about supporting Kamala Harris as the first female black president, you know, Hollywood's all got to get in line and support this woman or else, Janet Jackson simply said that she had heard that Kamala was not black and that she was in fact Irish, and the media predictably went completely crazy. I mean, here are some of the headlines here. NBC, Janet Jackson tells interviewer she's heard Kamala Harris is not black, echoing election disinformation. Oh, love that word. Newsweek, Janet Jackson's Kamala Harris remarks spark black backlash. The Independent, she's not black. Janet Jackson makes shocking comments about Kamala Harris's heritage. And of course, the New York Times, Janet Jackson repeats false claims about Kamala Harris's race. False claims. So to be clear, all Janet Jackson said was, quote, "That's what I heard, that she's Indian, that her father's white. That's what I was told. I mean, I haven't watched the news in a few days. I was told that they discovered that her father was white." Okay? That is all that she said that led to all of this craziness in the media trying to paint her like she was some sort of a psycho. And then her manager, a guy named Mo Elmarzi that I'm showing you a picture of here, he offered an apology on Janet Jackson's behalf to BuzzFeed. He said, quote, "Janet Jackson would like to clarify her recent comments. She recognizes that her statements regarding Vice President Kamala Harris's racial identity were based on misinformation. Janet respects Harris's dual heritage as both black and Indian and apologizes for any confusion caused. She values the diversity that Harris represents and understands the importance of celebrating that in today's society. Janet remains committed to promoting unity and understanding," end quote. And guess what happened? Janet Jackson fired him immediately and said that he was not authorized to make that statement at all, and she was not apologizing because she was not sorry, and good for her.
Kudos to her.
I'm glad she fired him. I am so tired of people being so fake, having to apologize for something that should not have yielded any response from the media. In fact, it should have been the opposite. They should have went ahead and investigated the claim that Kamala Harris is black, gotten to the bottom of it fully. But instead, it was a media pylon. And then, after being fired, Mo added to that pylon by referring to Janet Jackson as unbalanced. Like, the person who just worked for her came out and was like, she's unbalanced. I mean, with friends like that, who needs enemies? Then came me. I don't know. I guess I really am the person that has been in these streets, Kamala, because I decided to simply look into her genealogy. Because why on earth is the world trying to convince me that this woman is suddenly black? Like, they just decided she was black because she's running and because there is evidence, it is true, that her father grew up in Jamaica. Your race does not magically change because of where you grow up, okay? If I grow up in Sweden, I don't get to suddenly say I'm white, okay? And what I discovered was quite startling. Now, I'll ask you, when did you first get the idea that Kamala was black? Well, you'll say, yeah, when she kind of started running with Joe Biden. And that claim really came from Kamala herself. When they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, they understood that Kamala Harris published a book in 2019 called The Truth That We Hold. And presumably the book was filled with truth that she was holding. I had a look through it and I saw this picture of her and her grandmother, clearly a black-looking grandmother, on page 282 in the photograph section. It reads, as you can see, visiting my paternal grandmother, Beryl, in Jamaica. Also on that same page, there's another photo of her. Again, you can see it's black and white. I'm not quite sure why it is black and white, but it says, when I was 10 months old, I visited Spanish Town, Jamaica. This is me with my mother and my paternal grandfather, Oscar Joseph. And now this guy looks mixed. He looks Asian of some description, but you can see the idea here is that she's definitely trying to introduce, in a manner of photos, things that make her race look more complicated. So I just decided to investigate that, and immediately things got weird, very weird. First and foremost, because it was very easy for me to determine via just a light search online that Beryl, her alleged paternal grandmother that you just saw, died 4 years before Kamala was born in 1960. So last night we decided to continue our research to see if we could find birth certificates and marriage certificates and death certificates, which could further signify those points, and indeed it did. And it also raised even more questions about her genealogy. So let's go through those. Here is the birth certificate for her paternal grandmother. This is Kamala's paternal grandmother, Beryl. Okay, now you can see on this birth certificate that Beryl is spelled with an I. It's Beryl Magdalene. And you can see the reason why we know this is the correct Beryl is because the mother is listed as Iris Finnegan. Later on, we're going to show you in the book, she names Iris Finnegan as her great-grandmother. So that would be Beryl's mother. So we have the right woman. Also, formerly, her maiden name is Allen. That is true. It also says here that she's born in October of 1917 in St. Anne. That's the St. Anne parish of Jamaica. And again, you can see it says that it is signed by Iris Finnegan. Very clearly, this is the woman that we are looking for. This is Kamala's grandmother, alleged grandmother, Beryl. It's also interesting, by the way, that it lists her great-grandmother as a seamstress because Donald Harris, Kamala's father, wrote in a 2020 piece called Reflections of a Jamaican Father, quote, Miss Iris, that again would be his grandmother, was the mother of 8 children, too, was the sweetest and gentlest person one could meet, but underneath it was a tough farming woman who ran the cane farm at Thatch Walk near Annan Town, jointly owned with her husband, Mr. Christie. Okay, that's weird. So you're telling me that she ran a farm because on that birth certificate it says that actually Iris was a seamstress, but whatever. Let's just park that aside for a second and stick with Beryl, this woman who died before Kamala was born, okay? Because I was feeling pretty certain that not too many people were going to be named Beryl and be born in the St. Anne parish of Jamaica in 1917 to a mother named Iris Finnegan. I felt confident that we could find a little bit more data, and in fact, we did, okay? First, we stumbled across Beryl's marriage certificate, okay? So you can see that right here, and now the name spelling has changed. You have Beryl Finnegan spelled with a Y in the same way that Kamala spells it, and it lists their married date as 1944. Again, you can see the parish that is listed is St. Anne Parish. This is where every piece of Beryl's life seems to take place. It reads here that her calling is a barmaid. And something that jumped out at me was the fact that she's married to someone, as you can see, named Lawford Newland. Okay, so Beryl apparently was married more than once, because Lawford Newland is not Donald Harris's father, but Beryl is his mother. So just to be clear, again, it says that she married a guy named Lawford Newland in 1944 when she was 25 years old, okay? It's important to note that that would have been 4 years after she gave birth to Donald Harris, Kamala's father. I find that to be very strange. Also, regarding Kamala's father, we cannot seem to locate, regarding Lawland Newland, the person that she married, we can't find him. Can't find him anywhere. We cannot find a birth certificate. We cannot find a death certificate. We can't find a news item or otherwise. I cannot find this alleged Lawford Newland that apparently her grandma got married to. We also can't find a wedding certificate for Beryl and Oscar Wilde Joseph Brown Harris. That is allegedly supposed to be Donald Harris's father. Okay, so Kamala's grandfather is Oscar Wilde Joseph Brown Harris, and we can't find a marriage certificate between the two of them. That's very strange. As speculated, we were able to confirm that Kamala's Black grandmother that she showed us in that picture died in 1960, before Kamala was born. I can show you right now her death certificate. Let's take a look at Beryl's death certificate, which confirms. As you can see there, it says that she died in July of 1960. It also tells us on the right-hand side, you guys will probably have to zoom in on this, but she died of a uterine infection, uterine fibroids due to a hysterectomy. It has her listed as 39 years. That's actually a couple of years off from 1917, so somebody may have gotten their math wrong here. But you once again see that it lists her birthplace as St. Anne. And so this is a huge scandal. Just an absolutely huge scandal. Kamala Harris published in her book that she was standing next to her grandma Beryl. But Grandma Beryl died in 1960, 4 years before Kamala Harris was born. So who the hell is the real Beryl? Who is that woman standing next to Kamala Harris? And do you know what I noticed about that woman standing next to her? She looks a lot like the woman that Kamala claims in her book is her great-grandmother, Iris. Now, that's Iris Finnegan. Here's the book with my great-grandmother, Iris Finnegan in Jamaica. Now, I'm going to give you the side-by-side of Iris and her alleged daughter, Beryl, who died at 39. Now, that woman on the right is not 39 years old. She's clearly much more advanced in her age. I mean, we know black don't crack. I mean, that's just a scientific fact. So I would put that woman on the right-hand side, who she tried to pass off as Beryl, and I think is the exact same person. I would say that that woman looks to be about 65. And then it looks like she's more advanced on the left-hand side. The great-grandmother, that's the same person. When I just believe my own eyes, we're looking at the same person. What do you guys think when you look at those photos? How the hell does a person who is the vice president of the United States pass off a book, claim that these people that are in her book are her black relatives, and nobody bats an eyelash or does even a peripheral search to recognize that the woman that she put forth is implausibly her grandmother? And by the way, I'm going to say this and people can be offended, but the first thing that I thought when I saw the photo of her sitting on her great-grandmother's lap was that this doesn't look like a grandparent affection going on here. Like, this woman looks like she could be working for the family. Quite literally, I thought to myself, this woman looks...
It really don't. I'm sorry. I bad, y'all.
Lack of affection. It's just like a woman standing next to her. And I obviously know that that was a circumstance. When you're talking about a family that had a ton of plantations, which is the reality. She descends from Irish slavers. That is a fact that Kamala Harris cannot deny. She descends from wealthy Irish slavers who virtually they did own the town. They named the town. It was Hamilton Town, then it was Brownstown in Jamaica. He had over 1,000 slaves, okay? It would follow that there would be help around the house. And I'm just going to put here as a question mark, not as a fact. If they're looking at some of these photos of people who became like family and they're trying to pass them off like relatives, again, not a fact, a huge question mark, but my instinct tells me that that person is actually not her family member. And if it is, well, Kamala's got some explaining to do. How did she meet Grandma Beryl almost 20 years after Grandma Beryl died? Because Kamala Harris looks to be about 20 in that photo that she presented. Then there's another bit of a mystery, as I said. If Beryl married after her or before her wedding when she was 25 years old to the missing Newland, if anybody can find Newland, please let me know. But if Beryl married at some point Oscar Wilde Joseph Brown, where is their marriage certificate? And where is their divorce certificate? Again, I'm only prodding the narrative here because I'm going to need proof that she's Black. The media has now made this a thing, and now you made it so much of a thing that you're attacking people like Janet Jackson when she asks a very reasonable question that you should be able to respond to. And now we have a verifiable lie that Kamala Harris told in her book, or a big uh-oh, because, you know, if I'm being nice, I guess sometimes you think when you're publishing a book that it's a photo of you and your grandmother that you never met or never could have met. Maybe Kamala was just confused and thought it was her grandma, but it was a grandmother that she had, again, never met. Media should be on this, and they should be asking her this question. How did you make this significant of a blunder in your book? And isn't it quite ironic that every photo that you have presented, two of which look like they're the exact same person, one aged on, which begs the question, is that even Kamala Harris in her lap? I don't know. Again, we're at the beginning of this investigation. But it's interesting that amongst all of the relatives, so many Irish white slavers, the only photos that she chose to put in this book are the ones that make it look as though she might be Black. And we have just significantly and without question debunked one of those photos.
You're right.
Also, there's something else that I notice about Beryl and Oscar, this alleged married couple. Right? Our alleged husband and wife. Each of them are listed as having a lot of siblings. Oscar's siblings are named Hildred May Harris, Newton Alexander Harris, and Ina Doreen Harris. I cannot find a single photo of these siblings. Now, why am I looking for it? Well, because people take family photos all the time. Tons of this stuff is on the internet. I mean, one of those people lived until 2005. Ina Doreen Harris allegedly lived until 2005. I would just like to see a photo to confirm that these are Black relatives. I just want to confirm their race. Can't find a trace. Similarly for Beryl Finnegan has siblings too. Their names are Abraham Judah Finnegan, Noah Pendergast Finnegan, Bernard Washington Finnegan, and Gloria Eugenie Hill. Where are they? Or where are any photos of them, presuming that they've passed? Where are the photos of them? They've got to be somewhere, right? Something very suspicious is going on. I don't know how it is plausible, guys. Do not allow the media to gaslight us. It is not difficult, okay, for a person that is running for president of the United States to have a tidy background. This is my mom. This is my dad. This is my grandma. That it always seems to be the case that right before they run, they introduce like one or two photos that they allege are from their childhood. This is my grandma. This is my mom. And if you ask any more questions, I'm going to scream at you and call you a racist, is completely ridiculous. We now have a scandal on our hands, okay? And again, this is the tip of the iceberg. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep looking for these relatives. I'm going to confirm that all of these people are in fact Black. I find it strange, just as a little tidbit, that when you go on these genealogy websites, you can see that there's somebody managing the profile. All of the people that are managing the profile for Kamala's relatives are white. What interest would white people around the United States have in managing the profile for this Jamaica family? Unless Well, unless what Janet Jackson said was true, and that these are her white Irish relatives, and she's been hiding that fact by trying to introduce some random photos of a woman and purporting that that woman is her grandmother. Again, if she's been with you throughout your entire life, Kamala, you could drop some more photos, but no matter what, you lied in your book, okay? You lied in your book. That woman died in 1960, and you were born in 1964, and I find that to be extremely problematic. Like I said, I'm in these streets, just like you, Kamala. So if you want to come out and tell the truth, I'm going to be on this. Otherwise, you might as well come up with your storyline, because I don't tend to let go when I have the scent of somebody who's telling a lie. All right, guys, we will pause there. I want to remind you about Goldco. This election season has been insane. We really don't know who is going to win in November, least of all this information now coming out about Kamala. But there is one thing that I do know. I'm still going to buy gold and silver. The United States has $35 trillion in debt, and a foreign country likely controls our government. There's no better time to protect your money and savings while you still can. You can go to candacelikesgold.com. You'll learn about the top-rated precious metals company, Goldco, and how they can help you. They are a great company that is top-rated with over 6,000 five-star reviews and a whole bunch of awards. Not only do they support my show, my listeners can get up to a 10% instant match in bonus silver on qualified orders. So if you're worried about your money losing value, or you just want to buy some precious metals that you can physically hold, go to Goldco. Visit candacelikesgold.com. That's candacelikesgold.com. Okay, got to cover this because I always cover her because I think she's an interesting case study. And it really, for me, I believe that there's a lot of reasons that I believe that Hollywood is problematic, but it is the targeting of children when you learn the history of Hollywood and just seeing the way that the pursuit of cameras and the pursuit of fame can warp somebody's brain. I mean, we're seeing a very distinct pattern here of child actresses kind of going off.
All right, well, that's the end of the Kamala saga on this episode. But hey, what y'all think, Mo, so far? We got 2 more episodes. We got another 2-hour live tomorrow. We gonna wrap this up. I mean, well, it ain't wrap because we ain't get to the bottom of it. She ain't finished, but we gonna get more to it. But hey, you been rocking with me. I've been here entertaining y'all, showing y'all the most, giving y'all the most. It's your boy, Professor Ghost, the host with the most. As you already know. Come pack it up, squad up, blow it up, roll it up, pass that, all that. We can throw it all in the bowl. We ain't even got to put it in order. That's how we do here. Because it's a gang. We a gang here. We affiliated, the family. We could connect it all over. But appreciate y'all rocking with me. Thank you. Hey, we be back. Yeah, I always know. Holla at your boys. Deadwolvz Gaming, baby. We out.